Hello, everyone. Tashidale, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining. Um, I think most of the faces that I see were present yesterday, but just in case, and especially somebody not associated with Tibeta's courses or has not attended any of Keshla's teachings before, I'll just do a quick introduction and then I'll hand it over to our anchor, Dr. Nivedita ji. So essentially, this is a new series called Inspiring Conversation. In short, we are calling it Icon, just a catchy name so that you can tell your friends, especially friends who are not introduced to this kind of a tradition, if they want to connect. The whole idea was, by the way, I'm the Depesh Thakkar. I'm the chief coordinator of Nalanda courses, for Tibet House. It's a blessed opportunity that I have to hold this position. So, we've been running Nalanda courses for close to now 10 years, to be more accurate, 9 years. So, a couple of reasons for starting this kind of a program, Inspiring Conversation. So I was held as a culprit by a lot of people who used to visit Tibet House in 2015 or maybe before 2017. I would say we started taking registration mid of 2016. So before that, there were no registrations, hardly any registration. Very few courses were registrations. So anybody could walk in, attend Geshe-la's teachings, and then on complicated texts like entering the middle way, Geshe-la would be on 2 or 3 verses for 3 4 months because every time new people will come. So we requested Geshe-la to start with some registered courses. So we started with, so we are kind of in reverse as far as Nalanda courses go. We started with the longest course, NMC, then when we went to 1.5 year course, NDC, then a shorter course called NCC, 6 months. Then recently we finished a NIC, which was even a shorter. Now we're doing like a 2 day series, the shortest one. So anyway, so that's the background. So the whole idea is that most of you people are associated with, like I said, the courses or teachings. And currently we are on the Zoom meeting platform, but we are also live streaming on YouTube. We have simultaneous interpretation in Russian and Ladakhi. So we have separate streams. So even after the teaching, if you feel to spread the word with your friends and family to get an idea, please use those streams. Yeah. So now, I will leave introducing Geshla to Dr. Niveditaji, but I'll give a brief introduction as, yesterday I did for Dr. Niveditaji. Uh, she's done her PhD, in uh, she's quite qualified. She started with an institute called Earth, founder of Earth, which is a mental health center in Mumbai, and she does specific counselings around art-based therapy and for mental issues. And then she also runs a applied Buddhist psychology course under the name the Bodhi Tree. And a lot of people join Nalanda courses through this course that Niveditaji runs, And in terms of a qualification, she's done a master's in medical psychiatric social work, MPhil and PhD from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. And she has more than 20 years of experience, in the area of mental health, including suicide prevention, disaster relief work, promotive and preventive programs in mental health. So that's a very, very brief introduction about Dr. Niveditaji, and we're very grateful that she agreed to anchor this first series. So over to you, Dr. Niveditaji. Okay, and just a little bit logistics that we're going to lock all the microphones and so that, of course, we don't want to control anybody, but just it's more like a decorum that we can maintain. Sometimes by mistake, somebody unmutes and then interrupts the flow of the conversation. That's the whole idea. So we really encourage people, specifically if you're joining for the first time, you've not been associated with the teachings earlier of Venerable Geshe-la, then we would request you ask your questions first. And of course, others are also welcome. So over to you, Dr. Niveditaji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that kind introduction, Deepeshla. And yes, I do agree, we hold him responsible, but frankly with a lot of gratitude, because without his kindly, timely intervention, our learning would not have been as systematic. So with immense gratitude, Deepeshla. Tashidalek Geshe-la, and a very, very warm welcome, Namaste, Tashidalek, Jule, to everyone joining us here online on Zoom, as well as the YouTube channels on day 2 of what the short form is Icon, but really inspiring conversations. I'm so happy to see faces from yesterday, but I'm also thrilled to see some new faces. For the benefit of those who are joining us today, I'll repeat a few things from yesterday. As you're probably aware, we celebrated the 90th birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and this year is being marked as the Year of Compassion. And as part of these ongoing celebrations, Tibet House has thoughtfully launched this new series of interactions in an informal space. Basic aim is that it allows us to pose our queries and questions to Venerable Geshe-la directly. So on behalf of all of us, I wish to thank you, Geshe-la, Tibet House team, and in particular Deepeshla, Kunkitla, and Amrullah, for their efforts in conceptualizing, planning, as well as organizing this event. A special thank you to Lamola and Alexela, who are simultaneously translating this to Ladakhi and Russian, I believe along with support of Tatiana La. And while Geshe-la does not need an introduction for many of us, I would like to share a brief one for the benefit of those who are joining us today for the first time. Venerable Geshe-la is the director, Geshe Dorji Damdul is the director of Tibet House, Cultural Center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama since 2011. After 15 years of study in Buddhist philosophy, he finished his Geshe Larampa degree in 2002 from the Drepung Losling Monastic University. He joined the Gyudmed Tantric College for a year for Tantric studies. In 2003, the Office of His Holiness the Dalai Lama sent him to Cambridge University for Proficiency English Studies, where he also served as a visiting fellow. He served as the interpreter and translator for His Holiness the Dalai Lama within India and abroad, and is one of the chief editors and co-authors of scientific, philosophical, Buddhist, and secular books with prominent professors in the UK and USA, as well as with His Holiness. These books are used at centers and institutes all over the world to study more thoroughly Buddhist philosophy, metaphysics, epistemology, and science. He's also translated several important Buddhist philosophy texts and contributed to various papers for national and international conferences. His profound knowledge of both science as well as interactions with world-renowned physicists give him the unique ability to teach Buddhist philosophy with a modern twist that many of his non-Tibetan students appreciate. And on behalf of all of his students, I will add that what we admire is not only his vast and profound knowledge, but quite honestly, his ability to systematically teach complex texts, concepts very consistently, patiently, and with full honesty, many times repeatedly, which is the only way some of us are really moving forward. So much gratitude for this time, Geshe-la, which gives us the space and opportunity to bring our questions from where we are and from where our understanding is. For all of you, our process stays the same as yesterday, given that participants may ask questions in different languages, as Deepesh-la will type in the chat box. Please click on English at the bottom, which will allow any Russian or Ladakhi questions to be translated back into English for you, for those of you who are comfortable with English. And similarly, for those of you who would like to ask questions, please feel free to raise your little virtual hand. Yesterday, we saw a range of questions about how to help others who may not want to be helped, about rebirth and belief systems, about how to cope when our capacity feels limited in some ways, about understanding karma, about the compatibility of spiritual and material success, and the difference between practitioners based on their aspirations. Geshe-la's very detailed answers stay available on YouTube in case you would like to revisit them. And since hands are already up, Geshe-la, I think we are good to go. May I request Roman-la to kindly unmute and ask the first question. Geshe-la, you're ready.
Можно, да? Good evening, Gisela. First of all, I would like to say that I'm happy to see you again. Thank you for that took place 1 month ago in Ladakh. It was incredible experience. It was an incredible experience, and so much for all Russian group. I will ask my question in Russian, okay? Мой вопрос касается напрямую той темы, которая сегодня.
My question is related directly to the topic which we discussed today.
Сохранять радость. Что сказать в отношении меня? На данный момент я имею довольно хорошую работу, которая приносит мне как моральное
Talking about
удовлетворение,
myself, I have a very good work, which is well paid and which give me moral satisfaction. But specific of my job is that to reach some goals, I must push sometimes, push people. And for this, sometimes I have to do some not very good actions, like some bad words or something. I realize that such actions
никакого удовлетворения.
are not good and they don't give me any satisfaction. On the contrary, I feel regret from this.
И не хотел бы совершать их.
And really, I don't
в
want
будущем.
to
Однако,
do
если я не
such
буду этого
actions
делать, то
in future. But if I will not do it, then the quality of my work
возможно,
will
это закончится
decrease
тем, что я потеряю.
and probably I would lose my
Мой
job.
вопрос.
And my question
Как решить
is
эту дилемму?
how to
Сохранить
solve this
мою работу
dilemma, how
и
to
при этом
save my job and at the
остаться
same
верным
time to follow the Buddhist obligations, including tantric vows. Thank you, Geshe-la.
Okay, thank you, Tenzin Shugela. Most of you know Debeshla, and also Dr. Niveditaji, who so kindly they accepted to be anchored here. Also a great inspiration to many young people, and I would say the middle-aged, young and middle-aged people with her courses, and great inspiration to so many. So with this in mind, this program is particularly designed, the originally thought of by Debeshla, that there are many people who have the mental discomfort and tension, stress, anxiety, and so forth, complications at the workplace, complications at home, or with their own life. So how to manage these things? So so there'll be this referred to as the inspiration, the inspiring conversations. That should be in the form of conversation. People ask questions, and whatever thoughts that come to me based on the teachings of the great, first of all, the Buddha Shakyamuni, then the great Nalanda Masters, and today a living embodiment of the Nalanda, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all my teachers. So from what I've little gathered of the information, so these I'm trying to share, and this is the whole idea, to make it more the discussion format rather than unilateral teaching. So with this mind, this question is, again, a very practical question, particularly the questions which yesterday we dealt with. The questions are very, very practical. And yes, we see that we are going through these challenges. So in a way, I learn a lot from these questions, because coming to know that, okay, these are things actually happening in the people's mind, in the people's environment, in the family, in the workplace, individuals, the world of the one's thought, and so forth. And there, in the Narendra psychology, these are actually taught there. So thus far, it may not make much sense to me today. It's extremely relevant when seeing the situations of people, which I'm very fortunate to be listening to and learning from your questions. So to this question from Boma, yes, this is a very serious question which many people encounter with, say, at a workplace. At a workplace, sometimes you should be a little tough and be rude, little harsh. Otherwise, things don't happen the way you like. And people may be more relaxed and may delay. So therefore, I truly empathize with what the Boma said, that this is reality. So how do we deal with these things? In fact, what I would say is that instead of me giving you a unilateral the direction or unilateral advice on how to do, how I do is that, for example, say I was not expecting to be like, say, directing or heading Tibet House here. This was not my expectation. And if you give me a choice, would you be as leading a community, or you remain as an individual, the citizen? I would be rather more happy to remain as an individual citizen, because it's a big headache, big problem, tension, stress, and particularly heading an institution. It's not that easy. So I have to take care of the minutest of things. For example, designing mug, souvenir, designing mug. And if I leave it to the young people, they're young, very inexperienced. They design very strange things. And then even preparing for the cushion cover, meditation cushion cover, they bring very strange, funny materials. I have to go on my own for every detail, and for changing the whole windows. Again, they're very confident and said, yes, sir, I will do that. And then finally, the things that are done in a very wrong way, all expenses, all the, say, heavy expense, and the work done is just nil. So therefore, it's not that easy. But let's not forget that let us not always go for the easier way. Easier will never take us to a meaningful life. You have a tremendous potential. Let's not forget it. We all have a tremendous potential. If you have a potential to gain, say, 10,000 kilogram of the grains, and you get, say, 1,000 the kg grain, people will be amazed. Wow, this 1,000 kg, where everybody gets just like 100, 200, 300, and you have 1,000. I say that no, there's nothing for you to be happy about. You should be feeling sad because you have the capacity to bring 10,000 kg. So you have that capacity. So knowing that you have this capacity, why should we have to underestimate your potential and go into a seclusion, just be on your own, sit there, not letting your potential to manifest? So therefore, let us be more courageous. Let us be more courageous. And so how I do with respect to the question asked by Poma, that how I do is that instead of listening to one person, yes, of course you can listen to experts, but I observe. This is so important for us. We observe instead of the theory is one part and the practical side. We observe the good leaders. For example, in CTA meaning Central Tibetan Administration. When I was in my 30s, working at the office of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and under the CTA, Central Tibetan Administration, and there are several departments, one of which is the security department. There's one gentleman who was the head of the security department. And I was so amazed that this head of the institute, he was the head of the department. He was not at all like aristocratic or from a big family. No, from a very humble family. But all his juniors, how they respect him is just amazing. He was not at all threatening them. No, not at all shouting at them. And yet, all his juniors, they were extremely respectful to him. And that whatever, just he says something very gently, and it happens. The juniors, they make sure that they do that. I used to be so impressed by this. What is that quality? That quality is amazingly precious. So the point is that we need to learn from others through examples. Of course, there are many books, how to be a good leader, the 10 qualities of a leader, good leader, and so forth. There are all these books there. Many of them, they can be theories, but theories plus the practical. We must learn to observe, to look at the good leaders. For the leaders doesn't necessarily mean the president, prime minister, and so forth. Even as, for example, in your own capacity, you may be a junior manager of under you, there may be 5 people or 2. So look at others. There are also some junior, the leaders there, managers, and so forth. And how do they manage? Particularly those who are very compassionate and yet very effective. And the juniors, they listen to, they respect, they listen, that the work happens so effectively. So just we have to learn from these people. This is one thing. Then they say the next thing with respect to what you do is that, number one, you have to believe. Yesterday I talked about the hidden treasure. We all have the incredibly a great hidden treasure. And at times, that this hidden treasure can be manifested through your skillfulness. Keep growing. As people always say, that always remain a student yourself. Always remain a student yourself, meaning that always keep learning something. Don't think that you have learned, you know everything. Keep learning something from others, even from a small child. For example, say there's one little girl here who is just amazing. Tinsi Cheyang, where are you? Tinsi Cheyang? Tinsi Cheyang, raise your hand, raise your hand. This girl, she's amazing. At this age, I was just imagining when I was her age, she's just 6 years old. Yes. Raise your hand, Tinsi Cheyang, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Good. So Tinsi Cheyang, at this age, I just met her last year, and this year I met her during the retreat in Ladakh, 10 days retreat. And I just observed, she's just 6 years old. I'm already 58 years old. I'm like a grandfather. But I learned from this girl. Look, so confident. There's no sense of fear. With 100 people, 200 people, and if I ask her, go and the performance, the sing a song, she would go without any hesitation. There's no fear there. So I was just so fascinated. And at this age, I used to be trembling like this. In front of 20 people, I should be trembling. And this girl, there's no fear. And I was just observing how come that this little girl do not have this fear. How come? So we can learn many things from them. And we all have that capacity. Each one of us with the capacity to perform, fearlessly perform, make your best of the performance in front of 2,000 people, the way this little girl does. So the thing is that the first thing is that you have to have a sense of confidence in yourself, the hidden treasure, technically known as Buddha nature. Buddha doesn't mean Buddhism. It simply means awakening. You have the seed of awakening of which will make you totally fearless and have an infinite happiness. So having said this, with respect to the colleagues at the workplace and juniors at the workplace, so where you think that others are not so effective, not so competent or effective, very competent, effective, but lazy or taken for granted. So if the person is not too competent or not too effective, then you don't expect perfection. If you expect perfection, when, say, I press my mobile and music comes out, and I press this, the table, no music comes out, don't feel frustrated, knowing that this table does not have the capacity to produce music. Simply don't compare your table and the mobile. Mobile has the capacity to give music, but the table does not have that capacity to give music. So some people have a tremendous capacity to work things so effectively, and some people, they don't have that competency. Where they don't have competency, still they have the belly, they have to survive. So don't just kick them out. They also have to survive. So keep in mind, after all, that you as a leader, you as a manager, or whatever, in your own capacity, say you have to understand the other people so well. What is the degree of their potential? What is the potential? If the potential is 40%, and if the outcome is 38, 39, 40, is good enough. Don't expect 50%, 80%, 90%. Don't expect that. Simply because somebody else is able to perform so well doesn't mean that everybody is same. This is one thing. And also that usually somebody who is less competent, they are paid less. So don't expect you pay only like the half of what other people get, and you expect this person to work the same way the competent people they are doing. Don't expect that. So we have to know the reality, and at the same, finally, what is important is that they say that the work, as long as the work is done, as long as the work, as I said earlier, if the person is very competent and out of laziness or taken for granted your compassion and so forth, so there you should be smart. So why this person is doing like this while the person is really competent? If not competent, don't expect. Whereas if the person is competent, then you have to say why this person is taking you for granted, taking you on a ride. Is because that maybe the person thinks that you are not smart. You are not smart. What the other person is doing that you don't know. That person thinks like this, number one. Number two, that your compassion. The other person may be taking that as a sign of weakness, not as a sign of strength. So for these two reasons, that the other person is taking you for granted. So therefore, the person is performing less, way less than what the person can perform. So under such situation, what we need to do is that we have to send these two messages to the person. Number one, that I'm not stupid. I know what you're trying to do. I'm not stupid. Number one. Number two, that how I am managing out of compassion is not my weakness. I can also be tough, but this doesn't help. It's not good for you. It's not good for me. You send a message. And so how? Keep a little distance. Keep a little distance in terms of, otherwise you be very friendly with others. So this particular person, you keep a little distance, a person gets a message that, okay, he's also very tough. She's also very tough. She knows what I'm doing, what I'm thinking. So therefore, he's not an easy person. She's not an easy person. So keep a distance, and person who doesn't want to feel that unease with you. So why this unease is happening is not because of you keeping distance, it's because of the person under the, say, they taking you for granted. So the person will behave better. And then the number one. Number two, no matter what, never ever demean or talk badly about the other person in front of other people, behind the person. Never ever talk badly about the person behind the person. This is so important. So the other person may expect that, okay, now behind me, he must be talking so bad about me. And then he never hears anything bad about you talking bad about him. So the person would be quite surprised that there is a deep strength in you. Who can do that? Only strong people can do that. So the person can see your strength. Whereas, so to backbite somebody is very easy, particularly if there's some basis to backbite that person, behind that person, very easy. Anybody can do. What is that? Peter, anyone, tip down, anybody can do that. So this is ordinary person's behavior. Strong people, the things which the ordinary people can easily do. If you restrain from doing that, this is the sign of your strength. And gradually this person will sense that you're a very strong person, still you display compassion. That's a compassion, it's not the weakness. So this is how we can prove, we can behave, we can interact with the other person. Then you see that the other person will change. That's for sure, other person will change. And also keep in mind that the other person, while the person may not be too effective, although the person has a tremendous capacity, but the person has many good qualities. Many good qualities. So in front of other people, say, when people talk about the bad qualities of that person A, and you say, yeah, that's true, this person has a bad quality, but the person also has good qualities. Although that person taking for granted, they take you for granted, but then you also specify the good qualities. Never ever exaggerate the qualities. Never ever exaggerate. Exaggeration is just to please the other person. That doesn't work. So you have to actually identify the good qualities and specify the good qualities. Meanwhile, keep a little distance. Who can do that? Only strong people can do that. Weak people will never identify the good qualities of other people. Weak people, they will never say good things, while at the same time keeping distance. Keeping distance means that you understand the other person is not being nice. And then you will never say good things about the other person. But the strong people, those who keep distance, means I know who you are. Meanwhile, you identify the good qualities of the other person is only done by the strong people. So therefore, the other person will easily identify your strength. The moment they identify their strength, then you don't really have to shout. At the same time, you say, if you talk a lot, other person will not respect what you are saying. Speak less, talk less, and be very stern. When you say something, it should be very serious, full stop. Don't say it over and over again. So that way it'll become extremely solid instruction for the other person, that the other person will take it very seriously. Okay, so these are things that we can think of doing and learn from others. This is a very effective way of, learning it yourself from others, other good leaders. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Keshala. May I request Laurie and Jeffla to please unmute and ask their question?
Yes, Geshe-la, thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to just ask questions about everyday things. So here's my question. What advice do you have for families experiencing the friction you've often talked about that begins when the child enters their teenage years? Disagreements related to the acceptable level of independence causes big fights. The parent obviously knows the child's not ready to be totally independent, but perhaps has not adjusted to the child's new level of maturity. This dynamic causes the child to feel justified when being sneaky and lying about things, further complicating matters. What advice would you have individually for both the child and the parent to make sure that the situation does not turn into a more difficult one, ending in perhaps an estranged relationship?
Thank you, Jeffrey. In fact, this is one of the major crises people, the families they face with is a major crisis. So already the children who already reach age 20s or 30s, and in Asia, you're 40 years old, 50 years old, still leaning against the parents and fighting with the parents. Okay, it doesn't mean that some people, they may be age 30, 40, they still are with the parents. Doesn't mean that you are leaning against the parents. So let us not mix up the two things. Where, say, some children, they're amazing. Say people, you may not get a job at the age 20, 30. That's a different story. But how you deal with your parents, if that is decent, that's good enough. I'm talking about those people who are already in their 30s, 40s, 50s, are leaning against the parents, and then constantly fighting with the parents, not supporting, fighting with the parents, extracting the money, fighting, and in worst cases, corporeal fights also happen, physical fights also happen. Extremely sad. Extremely sad. So this is a major crisis that you find in many places. So what they particularly do to the ones with the children, still very young children, age, say, in the teenagers, what I would suggest is that, of course, this is one question which I've been always dealing with in my office, meeting with the people and the children. And this is the crisis which oftentimes I have to listen to. And I feel that this is very important. So for this, what I would say is that the first thing, what the parents should be doing and what the children should be doing. And the children should be doing, and let us not expect that children should listen to you. They will listen. So the parents have to make the children listen to you. So how? The first thing is parents, husband and wife, they should be very harmonious and friendly, two of them. You should not fight. If you fight, finish. You cannot expect the child to learn from you. What they will learn? They will learn how to fight with the husband and wife in the future. They're learning this from you. So if you really want, finally for the parents, your children, I see that, be it in the West or in the East, I see that for the parents, the children, they are everything, particularly till the child reaches age 16, 17. I see that for the parents, the children are everything for the parents. But the thing is that the parents have a huge responsibility that somehow two of you should be very harmonious, friendly. You should set a good example to your children. This is very important, number one. Number two, that now the parents may be very harmonious, friendly, and very good to each other, think of the family, but they don't give direction to the children. This is another thing that I noticed. For example, the parents, they are very sensitive. They're sensitive, mean they're very kind, compassionate, not even harming the animals. But the children, they kill the mosquitoes, they kill the insects. The parents, they don't teach their children. So, oh, this child does like this. And you're not doing it. If you're doing it, that's a different story. You're not doing this, and you're not teaching your children. Oh, he does like this. Yes, of course, how the child behaves. Till age about age 4, 5, till age 1 is okay. Age 2 is okay. 3, then the child actually has some independent thinking. Age 3, 4, 5, how the child behaves is mostly predominantly through the imprints of their past lives. Then from age 5, 6, then this life's imprints will take over the child more and more. So the point is that the child can learn a lot from the parents, and parents can teach with love and affection. And we see that there's always extremes. Some parents, in the facade of being loving to the child, never teaches anything. Let the child do whatever the child does. And on the other hand, the parents are extremely tough and extremely strict. And just child say they put the hand almost to the fire, beat the child like this, like this extreme. So the thing is that you have to teach, but teach compassionately. And if you don't know how to teach, again, learn from others. Very decent families are there. The world, there's all the good examples are there, bad examples are there. Learn from the good families, how the good families parenting, how they're involved with the good parenting. You have to learn from these. Being very compassionate, at the same time, you teach your children. This is very important. Number 3, say, finally, the parents, for you, your children are everything. And you want the best for your child. And what is that? What is the best? If you think of carefully, that the child should be happy when the child grows up. Child should live a very decent, happy life. This is the meaning of, say, the best for the child. And alongside happiness, it has various levels. Happiness due to the being able to reach a position whereby the child can become like the second Mahatma Gandhi, like the next His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and so forth, on a very large scale to benefit the beings. Therefore, his or her happiness simply expands to infinity. So it has various levels. So finally, the thing is that the parents, your job is to teach. Teach what? The most important thing is a sense of compassion. Sense of compassion and love for knowledge. These are, and integrity. Sense of compassion, love for knowledge, and integrity. These are 3 things that parents must somehow teach your children. This is so important. And how you teach, never ever exaggerate, and never ever let the child feel inferior. I don't know. So look at a neighbor's child, your same age, and he's doing so good, she's doing so good, and look at you. Never ever do like this. You have to identify the child's potential. Again, if the child's potential is 60%, don't expect the child to perform 70%, 80%, comparing your child with the other child of your neighbors who can perform like 90%. Don't compare. You have to identify the capacity of your child. And if you don't know, if you don't have the capacity to see that, then you have to seek the help of your, say, friends. who are very smart, experienced, learned people, wise people, try to seek their help to identify the capacity of your child. And then on that basis, you can see how to push this child in a very gentle way, very affectionate way, in a very happy mental state of the child, just to see how to direct the child. Say, child says that I want to say that child has a tremendous capacity for, let's say, the mathematics. But as a little child, the child will not have anything to say that this is my strength, mathematics is my strength. Or say cognitive thinking, philosophical thinking, this is my strength. The child will not know that. Child may say that I want to become a pilot, seeing that, aeroplanes, very something very interesting, or I want to become say somebody as a footballer. Oh, I want to become a footballer. I want a painter. In fact, each one of us have the same thing. When I was age 3 or 4, I was thinking of becoming, what is that? I was thinking of becoming, I'll say what is that? Accountant, chief accountant, or a chartered accountant, because I was doing pretty good in mathematics. And then when I was in class 7 or 8, I said, I want to become an architect. You know why? Because I was doing good in geometry. So it kept changing. So the parents, simply because the child says, I want to become a painter, I want to become a singer, I want to become a pilot. So the parents' job, it is not that wanting to become a painter is wrong. No, it's not wrong. Your child can become the genius painter. But you as a parent, you have a huge responsibility to identify the strength of the child. What the child says does not mean anything, but you have to respect what the child says. Don't say that, no, you can't become painter. You have to become scientist. You have to become this. No, don't like say, oh, painting is good. Become a painter like Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, like that is amazing. Amazing. But there are other good things also. You are good in mathematics. I can see that. You are good in mathematics. You are good in music. You are good in public relation, in diplomacy. That's amazing. You have great skill. Just amazing. At the moment, you may not be able to identify that, but you have these qualities. But do think about these things. So painting is a good thing. Painting plus other things. You leave open, say, options for yourself. So this is how we can give directions, and particularly say these areas I don't really have to speak too much because they are experts. How to direct the child, in the academic, the strength of the child's, the academically, what is the child's the strength. But with respect to compassion, this is something you have to teach. The child may do something good. Say whatever little pocket money child has may be given to a child in the street. And where's your pocket money? No, I give it to no, that's too bad. I give how difficult it is for us to earn money. And it's not your money. When you earn it, then you can give. At the moment, you have to, no. Anything which is compassionate action the child does, praise. Because finally, why you are spending so much, investing everything on a child, is to make sure that the child becomes a happy child in the future. What guarantees the child is happy child is the compassion. So any act of compassion the child displays must be encouraged, must be praised, and never exaggerate. Never exaggerate the qualities of the child. If the child does not have such quality, don't say that he's like Buddha. Just whatever quality the child has, identify that and praise the child on that basis. And when something bad things are done, don't show anger, show sadness. These two are different. Showing anger and showing sadness, these two are different. Anger, nobody will appreciate. Person will revenge. Person will retaliate. Person will react to you. But if you show sadness, everybody will empathize. Even the child will empathize with you. So these are the skills that we need to build in order to bring your children up. So with this in mind, what I'm saying is that the first thing is that parents should be very harmonious and friendly yourself. You should be a good example. You should set a good example, one. Then number two, for the child, since that age 4, 5, 6, since that age, you have to make sure that you encourage compassion. So somebody compassionate, a child raised compassionate, that child, likelihood for the child to combat with the parents at the teenager, at the time of the teenage, is going to be much less. Where compassion is not encouraged, you just let the child become very individualistic. There's the chance to fight with the parents when the child reaches age 16, 17, 18 is much, much, much higher. So compassion, this is so important to make sure that what the parents you are doing to help the child appreciates that. So this, if the compassion is there, appreciation will come. If the compassion is missing, nothing will happen. Particularly the parents, you are going to suffer hell in the hands of the children. So this is so important, and you should learn how to direct the child, give direction to the child, teach the child since young age in compassion, skillfulness, and love for knowledge. These three things. And somebody who is nurtured with these three qualities, the likelihood for this child to fight with the parents, to have complications with parents, is going to be much, 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 much less. So these are things that we need to remember. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Geshala. Maya ji, may I request you to unmute and ask your question?
Hi, Namaste, Geshala.
Namaste.
Thank you, Geshala, for this. My question has two parts. One is when we are moving from ignorance to awareness, this a whole journey. It seems like it's never ending, but still, till we reach that awareness stage, it almost seems like there are two people inside. One is the older afflictive emotions and the stories which are coming up, and the other one that can see it, but right now the volume of the older song is very high, and the volume of the new Buddha nature, you can see that okay, you're making up a story right now, or you're taking offense because of habit. And it seems like this transition phase is going for a very long time. That's one question. The second question is, during this transition, our capacity itself to manage our emotions is maybe perhaps limited. So then does the sangha change? Because when we are trying to let go of the older habits of, let's say we've grown up in a family where anger or hate for some religion or those kind of things. So now when you are trying to adopt a new philosophy or new way of being, that time all of these, then we are not strong yet, but we know that this is not the right way or to think or to have this kind of aversion for anybody. So does the sangha then, do we start distancing from sangha, or does sangha then start changing as we start evolving? So that's my question, Keshav.
Thank you, Mayaji. Thank you so much. So broadly speaking, I sense that, okay, by the way, as I paraphrase the question, Mayaji, just correct me if I'm wrong. The first thing is that moving from ignorance to awareness, or moving from ignorance to wisdom. This journey involves two things, where your old version of the self, ignorant person, are moving towards the wisdom, new person, the person of the wisdom. So in this direction, say when you are in the halfway, you become half old self, which is ignorance, and half new self, which is wisdom. But of the two halves, the first one is chronic. Old self is chronic. Chronic meaning that the reasons will not work. So it says, this is my territory. Maya is my territory, right?
Right.
And the wisdom, get out. You are not. We are the old and the resident of this Maya. So now And then how is that reflected in us? Is that at times in your mind, there's a conflict. Okay, I know this is the right thing to do, but the habitual tendency, okay, let's say that, say, watching up the Facebook, Instagram, Reel, whatever. Okay, let me do it for just 5 minutes. Old habit, the old self is telling you 5 minutes, and 5 minutes changes to 3 hours. 3 hours. And then by the time I have my practice to do, you have no energy gone. So that way we see that these our old habits, they are so powerful, although you know what is right and what is wrong, but the old habits, the bad habits, they overwhelm the new habit that we are building. So how do we deal with that? This is number one. Number two is in the process of transitioning from the bad habit to the good habit, or transitioning from the one way of thinking to another way of thinking. So in one way of thinking, you have a sangha, like-minded people with the old ways of thinking. Moving to the new, then the old ones, they tend to distance from you, saying that what happened to you, Maya? Now you are not the previous Maya. What happened to you? You look so boring nowadays, right? You don't come to the pubs. You don't come to the nightclubs. What happened to you? So come, don't be like this. Come. And you say, no, why? Why no? Because I may practice. What practice? Right? What teach the practice? Wisdom. What is wisdom? Very boring. You're always saying practice, practice. When will this finish? Right? When will this finish? Okay. So the point is that, so these are the two questions. What should we do under such situation? The first situation where during the transitioning, the negativities are overwhelmingly powerful, although you know what is right and what is wrong. So what should we do under such situation? Finally, your actions determine, and actions are determined by the negative habits. So what do you do? So under such situation, one thing is that the Buddha already taught all these and the techniques. One is Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. Doesn't mean that you should become a Buddhist. There's not a connotation. For example, if you're an athlete, if you are a world-class athlete, then Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. Don't go with the people who are into the pubs, nightclubs, and so forth. You should observe discipline to make sure that you practice running, you practice whatever the sprinting or the athletics that you are good at, that you should be performing for the nation. You should be able to do that. Don't go with the friends who would always drag you into the alcohol or drinking nightclubs and so forth. Then you cannot perform. Your athletic skills will go waste. So it's not about the Buddhism, is about what you want to, where do you want to see yourself after 5 years, after 10 years, after 15 years. So there, see, when you see that I want to do good. So this is a bad habit. I want to now remove this bad habit. I want to do good. But the bad habit is overwhelmingly powerful. So what we do, the Buddha said, Sangam Sharanam Gacchami, meaning that be with those people who you create an environment whereby you are in amidst the people who are actually in this direction, actually go in the direction of the virtues, go in the direction of the wisdom. So, which means that those people, the friends from school days, college days, who are mostly into the pubs, nightclubs, and so forth, they may feel you so boring. It doesn't matter. Anyway, this big compliment, when they see you boring, which means that you are going the right direction. When the bad people see you, when the good people see you as a boring, which means that you are going the wrong direction. When the bad people see you as a boring, you are going in the good direction. This should be taken as a compliment. So don't feel sad. that, oh, my college friends, they're all now feeling something, so feeling me as very so weird. Don't worry. They feel you weird and you feel them as weird. So let me share with you one anecdote, which actually happened to me when I was age 17 or 18 in school. We were three friends, three boys from class 6, from like age 10, 11. We were three boys who were always extremely close. Three of us, we always seen together. And by the time we reach age 16, 17, my two friends, if they are listening to me, they will know what I'm sharing. If two of them are there. These two friends, they go together and they started to isolate me. And I started to feel so lonely. What happened? Now I'm feeling so lonely. They isolated me. Two of them are going on their own, keeping me away. Then one time I reported this to my teacher, Venerable Geshe Bemandujila. Sir, this is what is happening. I'm feeling so lonely. Geshe Bemandujila said, Dorji, don't feel lonely. What these two boys are doing, they are complimenting you. It's a big compliment from two of them to you. I said, no, it's not a compliment. I'm feeling sad that I'm lonely. And he said, no, you don't understand what I'm saying. That they want to smoke. They want to drink. They know that if you are with them, you will not allow them to smoke. You will not allow them to drink. So they want to do bad things. And they know that you're not going to do that. Not only that you're not going to do that, you will also stop them from doing that thing. So therefore, they are saying that you're a good boy. Don't come with us. We are going into a bad habit. So this is what they're saying. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. From the next day, this sadness, hollowness, it simply disappeared. So therefore now, even though they are not my Sangha, I don't mind. I rather feel happy that I'm not a part of the Sangha. So therefore, now the thing is that Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. This is already taught by the Buddha. Buddha taught that always go with good companions. Who are good companions? They're the people with whom you go and you become happier, happier, happier. That is a good companion. People with whom you go, your happiness diminishes. You may get a temporary, immediate gratification, but you're deep inside, you become more and more and more hollow, unhappy. These are bad companions. So therefore, the Buddha taught that if possible, always go with good companions. If not, better to go alone than to go with bad companions. Let's not forget it. This is the first part. This is the first part. So always be in the good companions so that the negative thoughts, negative habits cannot overwhelm you, because you get a chance. With the good companions, you get a chance for your good thoughts to arise. And these good thoughts, the more they arise, the more they will overwhelm the negative thoughts. This is number one. This is so important to be a part of good companions. So usually what I say is that not in the studies, now online, this amazing platform that internationally we're meeting with the people. And some people, when they feel so lonely, I say they join the class. And these are the people who want to explore, who want to identify, who want to discover the hidden treasure of the fearlessness and infinite happiness. So these are the people who are like-minded with you. So be with them. Instantly you can feel that I'm at home. This is so important to feel Sangha, but don't expect perfection. Oh, this person has that problem, this person has that problem. Don't expect perfection. Whenever you go somewhere to seeking a good Sangha, and if you feel a problem there, your job is not to fix the problem. You have not gone there to fix the problem. To say a center, you go to a center, and then you go to a center, say, please help me. And now you are trying to fix the center is not perfect. You're trying to fix the center. Don't try to fix the center. So example that I give is that be like a bee. Be like a bee. And you trying to fix the center becomes more fragmented, more divisions because of you. So what we do is that be like a bee. What does the bee do? Bee say this is the flower, and the flower, there's the nectar, and the bees, they fly and land on the flower. So the flower is the center, and you are the bee. Bee land on the center to get the nectar, not to destroy the flower. You land, and if the flower moves, run away. Don't say that nectar, the flower will damage you. Flower may damage you, which means behind there's a person there. There's a person who tried to attract you, who tried to arrest you. So the moment the flower moves, you run away. Meanwhile, don't disturb the flower. Take the nectar and leave. Take the nectar. Enjoy the flower. Enjoy the nectar, but don't disturb the flower. So likewise, thing is that, say, when you are in a sangha are supposed to be in the direction. Don't expect them to be perfect. If they're perfect, they will not be a part of sangha, because they don't require sangha. They're already perfect. Sangha means support system. They also require your support. You also require their support. So where the basic intention is go from misery to suffering, from darkness to wisdom, that is good sangha. Don't expect them to be perfect. This is one part. Number two is, what should we do with the old sangha? Should I say, if they see me as weird, don't worry. So if they see you as weird, means that you're not weird, you're good. Because general audience, general people, sensible people see that part of the world as weird. So when the weird person identifies you weird, means you're not weird. So therefore, feel joy and look for new sangha who actually flow in the direction as you intend to, from the ignorance to the wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Keshala. Even others' questions got answered, which we could hear on the chat box. There are 3 hands that are raised. I understand it's been 1 hour, but since 3 hands are raised, we'll go ahead with these 3 questions. Nimala, may I request you to ask your question?
Thank you. Tashidilek Benalo Geshe-la. My question is, in what way can we develop mental and emotional well-being within ourselves in order to better assist and support the well-being of others?
Wonderful question. Thank you. So on the in a way, what Nimala is saying, Nimawangdula. Earlier I said Nimatundula. So he said that whatever I say Nimatundula, Nimawangdula, it doesn't matter, but I'm Nimawangdula. Okay. Thank you, Nimawangdula. Thank you. Okay, what Nimawangdula is saying is that, if I can paraphrase what he said, is that in order to export gold, you should have enough gold yourself. If you don't have the gold, you cannot expect to export gold. So in order to help others, you need to be helped. You need to sustain, you need to have all these good qualities. How to nurture yourself well so that you can help others in nurturing them. This is a very serious question for all of us, including myself. So, for example, let's say that I personally cherish the practice of bodhicitta. I personally cherish the practice of the wisdom of emptiness. Although I'm nowhere close to accomplish, but still I cherish them. And just as I cherish them, I also try to share this with other people, and which I cannot do. And of course, I will not, talk about these things to other people. So the point is that it's so important for us to nurture yourself first, in order to help others. So there are 3 main things. Just look at what they say when you say that I want to benefit all the beings. In what way you can benefit others? The best way by which to benefit others is, for example, the common the saying is that better is to teach somebody how to make bread, how to look for bread, than to give a bread to that person. Let me repeat it. Although the example is with a fish, but this is not the good example. Fish is harming others. So instead, I would say bread. So say better it is to teach somebody to look for a bread than to feed the person with the bread. Feed the person with the bread. How long are you going to feed the bread? Feed the person with the bread. For 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. One day you will die. One day you will be sick. So who will feed? Who will give bread to that person? Whereas if you teach the person how to find bread, then that work is done. Even if you are sick, even if you die, the person will continue to get bread because the person knows how to find bread. So likewise, they say how to help others. 3 qualities: perfect love, perfect knowledge, and perfect power. 3 qualities. 3 qualities. Now, for these 3 qualities with which you can help others, if these are these 3 qualities, try to acquire these 3 qualities within yourself. Love and affection, compassion. And compassion, they are very systematic ways to cultivate it. It's not just compassion. Oh, I practice compassion. I think compassion. This will not help to grow compassion within us. There are 2 methods: 7-fold cause-effect method and the method of equalizing exchanges for others. These 2 methods are there. The first one has 7 methods, 7 points or 7 steps with 1 preliminary, total 8. And the second method has 9 steps. We have to identify what these steps are, practice them, and believe it or not, that within a span of a few years' time, that your compassion expands, your heart expands. You could feel that. And as your heart expands, your joy expands. It's amazing. Then you can see that from your conviction, from your confidence, from your experience, you get a feeling that everybody has that potential. It's a matter of the practice. Even though somebody who looks so selfish, so stingy, selfish, cruel, rude, harsh, but if the person practices these 2 methods, even that person's heart can expand. The compassion can expand. And as the compassion expands, your stress, anxiety, depression, they diminish. It's amazing. It's amazing. So the point is that compassion. Then the wisdom, as I said earlier, always try to grow in your knowledge. Keep growing in your knowledge. It is not necessary that it should be Buddhist knowledge. No, you can read any sensible book on computer science, on artificial intelligence, how the artificial intelligence works, and so forth. Any system where your knowledge grows to such extent that at a certain point you can easily make out, okay, this is a rubbish, this is a meaningless, the book. You can see the difference very easily. It's not a sensible book. It's very shallow. So it has many contradictions. You can see that at a certain point when your knowledge grows. So the next point is keep your knowledge growing. Keep your knowledge growing. Just keep reading something, learn something, and don't just always go after the Facebook, Instagram, and so forth, which is totally garbage. There are good materials there. Not that everything is garbage. There are good materials, but usually our mind, which drags you like 3 hours a day, usually the materials are very hollow. There's no meaning there. At the end of the day, you feel tired. And the next day, you have nothing left in your growth. So, and then meanwhile, we become older. Day by day, we become older. And usually this is what, I felt. And I'm sure that all of us will agree with me that when you are a teenager, time walks. When you're in your 20s, teenager, time crawls. I remember when I was 3 years old. No, not 3 years. I was in 3rd grade. I must be 10 or 11 years old. That when will I reach class 12? This was time was crawling. So when I was in class, when I was in my 20s, that time starts walking. Then when I was in 30s, time starts running. In my 40s, time starts jumping. In my 50s, time starts flying. You're getting it? Those in 50s would agree with me. Yes, that's true. Time is flying. Okay, so what I'm saying is that so in any ways, look at how the time flies. So we have to keep growing. So how do you know that we are growing? In your knowledge, in your compassion, and your power, particularly with the integrity, sense of integrity, that will give the power. So how do you know that we're growing in these three qualities? Is that as you grow older, you become happier, which means that you are actually growing. Whereas as you grow older, you tend to miss your youth, becoming more and more lonely, become more and more separated from the community. You feel lonely. Missing your youth means that you wasted your youth. So this is what we need to remember. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Keshala. Tenzin Gedunla, may I request you to unmute and ask your question?
Tashidelek Benab Geshe-la. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay.
Yes, Tenzin Gendula.
Okay. Even though I try to cultivate compassion in my daily life, I sometimes notice thoughts that arise that do not seem to be in harmony with that intention. In Western psychology, they are often seen as projections, meaning reflections of unhealed or unacknowledged parts of ourselves. My question is, how can we integrate these conflicting thoughts into Dharma practice without feeling that we are failing or going against the path? Is it correct to see them as temporary kleshas that can be observed with awareness and kindness, or should they be more actively purified? So how
Okay.
can we welcome these thoughts without rejection and while still remaining truth to the path of compassion?
Okay, Tenzin Gendula, thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is a very, again, there's somebody who practices the Dharma, I wouldn't use the word Dharma for the time being, somebody who wants to grow in the values. We are bound to face these difficulties and challenges. And for example, let's say that the practice of compassion, the opposite side, we should be more rational, we should be more practical. If you keep on being compassionate, you cannot sustain yourself, people will take advantage of you, and so forth. And then the rational part. The rational per se is not bad. Rational is so precious. But rational is like a knife. Like a knife. Knife can be used productively, can be used very destructively. So rational, complete rationality, complete form of rationality is extremely precious. But the incomplete rationality, half a rationality, can be very dangerous. So our job is rationality means reasoning, knowledge. Incomplete knowledge can be very dangerous. Complete knowledge, for example, let's say, being compassionate, or people will take advantage of you, and people see you as a stupid person. They'll not appreciate you. Okay, oh, that's true. If they don't appreciate my compassion, then what's the use of me being compassionate? No, your compassion should be pure. Don't go for the expectation. But the expectation comes. What should I do? Yes, you're right. We have to include all these into the equation of compassion. Let us not be idealistic. Compassion means should be the pure compassion without expectation return, because it's not the mantra is gate para sangbade. It's not gate bodhi swaha. You're getting it? Compassion and then perfect compassion. No, don't expect that. So first you practice compassion. There's the eagerness for the compassion. That is so precious. With the eagerness to practice the compassion, then you will walk. You start walking. It's the first gate. Let's say first gate. First gate means still there's a gate, second gate, para sanghade. They're all missing. The all missing will manifest in the form of challenging your compassion. They'll manifest. Which means we are still imperfect. So when we're imperfect, don't be scared of being imperfect. Don't say that I'm hopeless. So I'm supposed to be practitioner. I'm supposed to be compassionate. But where's this compassion? I'm just so rude, so bad. I'm not really doing the full justice to my Dhamma practice. No, we're already bad. You don't have to curse yourself. We're already bad. From since time immemorial, there's nothing can make us worse now. Now appreciate your good qualities. These good qualities we never inculcated from the past many lifetimes. You have done something new today. Appreciate that. You don't have to curse yourself. If you have to curse yourself, you have to curse from past lives many lifetimes. So now we have already indeed the bottom. So from the bottom, you're trying to climb up. They're so precious. Rejoice in that good quality. And meanwhile, so one thing that I would suggest is that, okay, look, although I'm supposed to be my compassion, but there's expectation coming in me. And this person is not reciprocating my compassion with the good sense of good spirit, but rather taking advantage of me. Okay, so now, wow, this is a reality. You're getting it? You have discovered the reality. So identify the reality, and you tell yourself that if I am in the shoes of that person, I'll also behave like this. I'm so glad that I discovered it. You're getting it? So next time I show the same compassion to another person, the other person also behave like this. So knowing that, now how to go beyond. Your job is not to fix the other person. Your job is to fix yourself. Go from gate to the next gate to the paragate. You identify what are the drawbacks which people can easily slide into, and which you can also slide into expectation return. That is not a pure compassion. But never mind. This is what's happening. So this is how I have to, now my next step. The first step I already passed. I've already taken step to practice compassion. Now I identify the hurdle. What is that hurdle? Expectation return is happening. When the expectation is not met, I feel angry towards that person. So now next is how to go beyond this expectation. So this is the meaning of the progress. It's amazing. Don't welcome the negative thoughts. Don't welcome the negative thoughts, but acknowledge the negative thoughts and keep in mind that my job is to get rid of these negative thoughts. And how to get rid of these negative thoughts? All will work based on the rationality, rational thinking. And if you don't know how to go with the rational thinking, you have to learn from others. There are many other practitioners, good people who already journeyed, cruised along this path. For example, like there are many good people. In fact, in my life, so we talk about the compassion without expectation return. We talk about this, but I see that I have expectation, and other people that I see around, they also have the expectation. They are very kind, but they have the expectation. But once in a while, out of 100 people, you can meet with one or two who truly manifest such a compassion, pure compassion, without expectation return. And seeing that, wow, that's amazing. What the text says is actually what I can see this in person's behavior. So, and this person, look at this, because of this compassion without expectation, the person is fearless. There's no agitation. Is so confident. Degree of confidence is amazing. I don't have this degree of compassion because I have the expectation. And she does not have this compassion. She does not have the expectation. He does not have this expectation. So the confidence level is very different. So you can see that. For example, the Buddha, when the Devadatta, when he sent a crazy elephant against a mad elephant against a Buddha, all the monks, they start to run away. And the Buddha said, don't run, stop. Don't run, stop. And the Buddha just went straight to the mad elephant. And mad elephant, seeing the Buddha, just knelt down, surrendered. Even the mad elephant's mind could see the power of the Buddha's mind because of this compassion without expectation. That is a power. So the point is that we always, whatever you're doing, is so important that that I'm on a journey. I'm not in the ultimate level. I've not reached the ultimate. I'm on the journey, in the process. Process means you are yet to complete the journey, which means that they are imperfection within us. So with the imperfection, always look for, okay, now I reached this level. So what is the obstacle or the drawback, limitation with my compassion, expectation coming? Now I have to cross that. So this is how we, so as you go along, then you will see the hurdles one by one, and you keep overcoming them. And never say that I'm a hopeless person. Look, I'm supposed to be practice compassion. There's expectation coming. I'm so hopeless. I'm so bad. Nobody can fail you. Nobody can fail you. Only you can fail yourself. The moment you say that I hate myself, I'm a failure, that is a real failure. Otherwise, nobody can fail you. So this is something that we need to remember. Remember that we are on a journey. We have not reached the ultimate. Journey means that we are bound to have the limitations. So journey is a journey of overcoming the limitations and eventually to reach to the ultimate. Thank you, Tizikandula.
Thank you very much, Geshe-la. Geshe-la, we have one last question from Namrata, please.
Unmute.
Good evening, Geshe-la. So some part of my questions did get answered in the last two, but what I wanted to understand is that how do you hike up your capacity for compassion when a certain amount of fatigue sets in, and how do you distinguish between physical fatigue and mental fatigue? Like sometimes you really want to help someone, but your mind tells you you're tired, but you don't know whether you're physically tired or you're mentally tired. So how do you, create that necessary energy to hike up your capacity for compassion?
Okay, thank you so much, Namrataji. Thank you. Say there is what is known as a compassion fatigue. How to overcome the compassion fatigue? Okay, this is again another question. The one thing that we need to remember is that before you, as Nima Wandula said, that as we go to help, but compassion means to reach out and help others. Reach out to help others, you should be helped. To export gold, you should have enough gold. So to help means that you should be strong to help. You should be strong. So compassion fatigue means you are not strong. You have the fatigue issue. So what should we be doing is that in the process of helping others, as the Namrataji rightly indicated, physical fatigue, mental fatigue. Physically, so at times we can mix up the two things. And the physical fatigue, sometimes you may feel that no, physically there's no reason I should be tired, but the vitamin B12 may be going down, vitamin D may be going down. So even though you rest for like hours and hours, like 9 hours of sleep, 10 hours of sleep, and no any physical, they say the hard work, but still physically you feel so fatigued, you think it's mental fatigue. No, it's a physical fatigue. So B12, vitamin C, and there are others also, the doctors, they are the best people to tell you. So it's so important for us to always know your body well by having a medical checkup plus blood test to see that physically is not your physical fatigue. B12, everything is well taken care of, number one. Then the next is the mental fatigue. So sometimes, say your capacity, your compassion level is, say, the 5 out of 10. And the person who requires your compassion, what is the requirement is the 8 out of 10. And then you try to push yourself, go beyond your capacity, 5, to jump to 8. And naturally, you don't have that capacity, which means you will strain yourself. Then you'll feel fatigue. First, mental. And this mental will then be translated into physiology. Physiology translates into your biology. Your biology is affected. So this is how we should identify the level of your compassion and the requirement of the other person. The help, requirement of the requirement to help the other person, the other person. You have to know the two so well. Then your degree of compassion is 5 out of 10. And the other person's requirement is like 8 out of 10, which means they don't match. So it doesn't mean that you have to give up. No, you have to identify, give 5 out of 10, 4.8 out of 10. And then you be happy yourself. Or the remaining part, I'll do tomorrow. I'll do it next time. Or I'll request somebody else to help. Don't try to overexert. So this is so important. In other words, first to help others, you have to help yourself, protect yourself first. So in Buddhism, the renunciation is taught first. Renunciation to take care of yourself. Then next is bodhicitta, to take care of others. So therefore, the first thing is that you have to make sure that you are well taken care of. By helping others, if you feel so weak, drained, which means that you're overexerting yourself. So there you require skills. You require skills in whatever capacity that you can help, and the remaining part which you cannot help, see if you can ask the help of somebody else. So this is so important to know your capacity, and then meanwhile keep growing. It's not that your capacity only fixed 5 out of 10. You can grow to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 eventually. So this requires, say, number one, say the physiotherapy of your mind, physiotherapy of your compassion. You have to keep practicing this. Meanwhile, this must be supported by the wisdom, broader and broader and broader wisdom. With a very broad and deep wisdom, your compassion, and then it's not just the wisdom. Wisdom must be supported by the physiotherapy of the compassion. Compassion must be practiced based on the wisdom that you have cultivated, you have been learning from others. So combined together, you see that your compassion grows. And then, which earlier, even a small thing, you feel so tired to help. Now it's so easy for you. It's so easy because your compassion level has increased. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Geshe-la. Very, very grateful for this space. And while I'm sure you would have brought tremendous benefit, even as an accountant or an architect, I'm sure there are many of us who are also feeling grateful that you're here in this role with us. Before we close, I just want to say thank you very much, Geshe-la, for your time and for creating this informal space, and especially to Deepeshla and the entire Tibet House team. For each of you who have joined in yesterday and today, this really becomes the motivation that allows Tibet House to create more programs for each and every one of us. Your questions have really enhanced and deepened all of our understanding, and sometimes your questions have answered questions that we didn't know we had. Given that this event is in the honor of His Holiness and this is the year of compassion, as we close, I would like to recite a verse from one of his favorite precious books by Bodhisattva Shantideva called Bodhicharya Avtara. It's just 4 lines. We remember this as we dedicate merit towards all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Thank you very much. Geshe-la.
I'd like to also thank again Dr. Nivedita ji, and of course Venerable Geshe-la. Thank you so much that we keep requesting you and you never say no. So this is something that we have to learn from you. And like Dr. Nivedita ji said about His Holiness, I think no matter what we say, it's just impossible to say anything about His Holiness. But we are so lucky that in today's world, with so much of chaos, that His Holiness is there. And that's why I think we got this opportunity because of the year of compassion that we are celebrating. And like His Holiness often says, the best thing is to, like Geshe-la today addressed about practicing compassion, that it's not easy, but rationally, this is what we need to do, right? And of course, I would like to thank all Tibetao staff and all the participants. And I put in the chat box that if we could not, there were a few people who raised their hands and then they lowered it towards the end. So if any of your unaddressed questions, please feel free to email us at nalandacourses@tibethouse.in. And our website is also there, tibethouse.in, where we have information about our courses, our events, our programs. So we would request you, to spread the word. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Geshe-la, again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tinshugala, and thank you, Dr. Nivedriji, and thank you all the participants of this the talk series. Thank you. That is.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you, Tibet House. Thank you, Debeshla. Tashi Delek to everyone.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Recording stopped. Thank you, Tenzin Shogyo. Thank you, Debeshla. Thank you, Tibet House staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable Geshe-la. Thank you, everyone at Tibet House. Thank you, Dr. Nivedita.